The West End is a very distinctive part of the city.
It's still a community. Everybody looks after everybody else and helps each other. Important way of life.
I think that's why we've always stopped there, because we've always been happy around here. My name's Josephine Cornwell. I've lived here 84 years. When I was small, we used to have a back passage from our house, led you onto the common. And so when it was Lincolnshire Handicap, we used to go onto the common watch them, because in those days they used to run round the common and we used to go and stand there and watch them.
The West End has quite a long association with horse racing in the city. From 1773, horse racing has taken place on the West Common. The most prominent race held here on the West Common was the Lincolnshire Handicap that took place from the middle part of the 19th century right up to the end of horse racing that took place here. The last Lincolnshire Handicap was staged in 1964. Race days caused big problems with getting into the town because one of the main roads into Lincoln closed in order for the races to take place.
You're now standing on the slip road. The main road would be shut and they would use this. Well, can you imagine what it would be like? Especially with the horses in stables over there. Yeah, interesting. My name's George Wolfenden. I live in the West End of Lincoln and have done for a considerable amount of time, more than I would like to say. I came here to train to be a nurse and met my wife, and we stayed. Moved down to the West End and have never left it. It's a nice place to live. We have the Commons that we're stood on at the moment. It's a recreational space. They have two main rights. One is the right to roam for everybody, and the other one, of course, is for the citizens of Lincoln to graze a horse on here, under the 1985 Act. It's the lungs of the city. It's where our children grow up, where they play in safety, and it's a valuable piece of land.
If you look at the housing stock within the West End, it is quite varied. So whilst much of it is 19th century in origin, there are a substantial number of relatively modest terraced houses, which might well have housed those who worked in the engineering industries within the city. One of the attractions of the West End, of course, was the direction of the wind. The smoke, the smells associated with industry were located in the east of the city. The prevailing westerly wind meant that all of that sort of environmental damage tended to be kept largely to the east of the city, and so the West End of the city was a more attractive place to live. The West End would have in terms of sounds and smells, been a rather different place in the 19th century from that it is today.
It's an ancient estate, complete with many, many things in its heyday. Shops and post offices and schools. It was a thought-out estate in the first place. And some of the houses are absolutely superb. They really are.
Things have moved on and you've got to move on with them. Just keep your happy thoughts of what you have got, but no, I think things moved on and you've got to accept that.
It's got more vitality about it now. It has changed and it's still changing. But it is evolving as well, and it's evolving back into a community, and I think that's important.
The West End is characterised, I think, by its community feel. And there's been quite a lot of work done within the West End by its residents to ensure that that's retained.